Hello, Austin County. Today we are here with Vinnie Mercado, park interpreter, and Scott Tufts, president of Friends of Stephen F. Austin State Park. Welcome, you two. We're glad you're here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
All right. So before we begin, let me remind you to like, subscribe, and share our YouTube channel. When you support our show, it helps continue shining a light on all the amazing people, stories, and events that make Austin County so special, like you two. All right. So let's just jump right in. Tell me the mission of the Friends of Stephen F. Austin State Park.
Well, the mission is to support the park. We are a fundraising organization. We're a 501c3 nonprofit registered with the IRS in the state of Texas. And we raise money, and 100% of our funds go directly to the park. It doesn't go back through the central TPWD, Texas Parks and Wildlife Department budgets. It goes directly to the park for the benefit of the park and our local community.
That's good. And people always ask that question, if I give, where does it go? And that's wonderful to know it goes straight to us. So, all right. Vinny, I guess this one's for you. Oh, I forgot to ask you, what is an interpreter? It says you're a park interpreter. What does that mean?
Great question, actually. It is kind of a fancy way of saying park naturalist.
Okay.
So my role within the park system essentially is for Stephen F. Austin. I teach people about the site that we're at, our natural and cultural resources, and engage them to create memories in our park. And hopefully have them keep coming back and want to engage further.
Wonderful. All right. So either one of you, what do you want people to know about the park that, first of all, excuse me. What makes a park unique? Then what do they need to know if they come? So they're like, why do I need to go there? Tell me why.
Well, first off, we exist,
right? There you go.
That's the first thing that we want people to know is we're here. I know that our park, we're actually one of the first 30 parks to be established within the Texas State Park system. So wow. We have been a state park. The property that we're on, it's 473-ish acres, depending on how the Brazos River acts, which is our northern boundary. Right. And we've been established since May 30th, 1940. The land itself, however, had been recognized by the San Felipe Park Association since 1929 for its cultural significance as part of the original Stephen F. Austin colony. With the old 300. So that part, and then as well as the natural resource that we're in a really special ecosystem. It's a bottomland forest. Fancy way of saying riverside wetland. Riverside wetland.
Right.
And so we function to help stabilize the Brazos River levels downstream from us, mitigating flooding. But it does affect the way that we function in the park whenever we do have severe rainstorms. Okay. So it's kind of a really neat place. We're a naturally occurring forest in between prairie lands. So we do get over 200 species of birds that come through.
And let me jump through some of my pictures here. No, because you're going along. I love this picture of you guys. Okay, so here is the park, and this is when I drive up. This is what I'm going to see.
So y'all drive up, you take a park and get your permits first and foremost. It's very simple. It's $5 for anyone over 13 to get into the park. There's also an annual pass if you visit state parks a lot that you can look into. We've got cabins, shelters, over 100 camping spots. We've got about 40 RV sites as well as a couple of rentable halls. So we've got our dining hall right here. This is an outdoor screened dining hall. Okay. And then this is an air-conditioned facility that folks can rent.
You said the magic word.
Air conditioning, yes.
Yes.
That people can rent for like family reunions and birthday parties and things like that. So
you guys are really set up. I mean, this is not a fly-by-night. This is a big deal.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, I have to admit, I'm ashamed to say, but I've only been here for a year, so that's my excuse. I haven't made it out there yet, but I'm going.
You got to come for a tour.
Yes. And I know exactly who to call. All right. So I know that I'm not super into the athletics, but you guys have hiking trails.
We do. We've got about 5 miles of hiking trails, and don't fret because most of them are flat.
Okay, good.
We've got a couple of hills. There's some benches throughout the system. So if you need to take a break, you totally can. And our rangers and volunteers have worked really, really hard over the last couple years to resurface all of our trails as well with this beautiful material. So it's great for bicycling. It's good for strollers, all that kind of stuff. So it's a good introductory park for
I didn't even
families.
think about the strollers. That's great to know for those that want to push the kids or even pull them in a wagon.
Absolutely.
Okay. So you guys are getting it. And then here are these athletics people.
Yes.
Not me. Now, what are they doing? It says trail racing over Texas.
Yeah. So this is one of the kind of organizations that partners with Texas State Parks. CalNEF actually organizes the trail races.
Okay.
We have 2 for sure every year. So in the spring, we have what's called the San Felipe Shootout. And in September, so this September 20th, y'all get your tickets if you're marathon runners or if you want to do a 5K. They'll hold a race called Night Moves, which takes place at night. So they're going to put glow sticks and stuff on the trails, and people can just run to their heart's content. But yeah, we have 2 at least per year.
All right. And for those of you watching, if you're interested, we're going to link all of this to, at the end, so you guys won't have to try to rewind and write it down. All right. Now here, I have to say, is one of my favorite things, the animals.
Yes.
I love it.
So we have tons of deer in the park. Like I said, wonderful birds that you can see throughout the year. Best time for birding for me is fall and winter.
Okay.
Because you can see them.
Now, I love this. I told you that. That's a sassy picture right there. That's Mama with her 2 babies.
Yeah.
She's like, look at my babies.
She did not like me taking pictures.
Oh, ugh. Did she, don't they snort and grunt when you get too close?
They can, yes.
Yeah.
But thankfully her fawns were photogenic.
There you go. All right. I just love it. All right. This is going to be one of my favorite things. Okay. So since we're talking about the animals, have you had any unique or interesting animals that you have seen or are out there that maybe people wouldn't see?
I mean, some of our nocturnal critters are definitely favorites of mine. So we do have coyotes in the park.
Okay.
Don't worry, you're not on the menu.
You're not a road runner. You're good, right?
Yeah. You're not on the menu, so just don't need to worry about them. We have tons of armadillos in the park.
Okay.
And although they have a wonderful sense of smell, they don't have the best vision. So usually they would be one of the animals that I guess visitors could somewhat get close to. Of course, we do want to respect the wildlife in their space, but they probably won't notice you walking by if they're foraging.
I was going to say, not Greg hates when I tell stories, but we have an armadillo that lives in my yard, just right over there. Mm-hmm. And I did not realize what you were saying is so true. I got all the way up to, I say it's a him, I can name him Army, and I literally touched his shell before he freaked and ran. So yes, but I didn't realize that they were, quite whatever. But anyway.
I call them Derby.
And another animal that's a signature in the park is the Pileated Woodpecker. Mm-hmm. It's one of the largest woodpecker species ever. It's got a very bright red head.
Is that... Oh, I didn't put the picture in here. I think you brought one.
I did.
I'm sorry.
They're pretty prevalent in the park, and there's a large tree just before you get to our recreational vehicle loop that every spring they nest in this tree. Usually multiple families. You get a lot of people out there with their cameras to take pictures of it. It's a really stunning bird to see, and it happens just drumbeat every spring and early summer.
Cool. Well, that's one of the things then that we need to let people know is that if you like animals, photography, bird watching, this is your place. All right, so we're kind of kind of zipping through this because we need to get to our most important part, which is the volunteering. But what I want to know is the things that you do, like you had school outreach.
Yeah, so I will go to schools and provide free programs for classrooms or grades. I've traveled all over the Houston metro area. I've gone to career fairs right here in Sealy.
Wow.
Or, talk to some after-school programs. This summer, I'll be doing outreach since it's our slow season at the park with it being hot. So I'll be out visiting different organizations and providing nature journaling or birds programs, skins and skulls, different things like that, depending on the age group.
That's awesome. Because having been a former teacher, I mean, you always need things to get the kids involved.
Yes.
And get their hands on it. And you never know, you might be inspiring the next park interpreter.
Yes, of course. And we do try to be TEKS aligned with our programs.
There you go. Now, this, I assume, is a summer camp?
Yes, we've had summer camps at the park in the past. They're a huge undertaking, but a lot of fun. So hopefully in the future we can get some good programming up for kids. We've had a couple of large events in the park as well. Last year and the year prior, Fall Forest Fest was a really big event for the park where we brought in around 1,800 people in a 4-hour period.
Whoa.
Just to come visit the park, and it was completely free for people to attend.
Wow.
So that was a really, really fun thing that we're able to do.
Okay. Well, that kind of brings us then, that's the end of my slides. It brings us then to the Friends of the Park, which I'm going to go to your Facebook page here, the Friends of Stephen F. Austin State Park. All right. So I guess we'll turn it over and I'll be quiet and let you guys tell us, if somebody wants to support the park, how do we do that? What are you needing? What can we do to keep the park going?
Well, even though the park system is quite large, there's almost 90 state parks. And as Vinny said, we're one of the first 30 that were created. The number of things that Texas Parks and Wildlife does is very, very diverse.
Okay.
And their budget is not enormous.
Right.
So all of the parks have a need for volunteers, people that will come in and do work. So my first role is I'm a volunteer in the park, and I've been doing project work and construction work and maintenance work for about 5 years. But of the 90 parks, about 60 of them have a friends group or a volunteer organization, and they all have a similar mission. They do things to raise money directly to support the park in their region. So we're in the southern tip of Austin County, but within a 30-mile radius of our park are over 1 million people.
Whoa.
So if you think about going east to the Highway 99 and Costco at I-10, or northwest to Brenham and so on, there's 1 million people in our area. And so having a park in your backyard is a fabulous thing, right? At the drop of a hat on a Saturday morning, you could say, hey, we don't have anything planned. Let's just get in the car and run to the state park. And it's right off of I-10. It's 3 miles north off the San Felipe exit. So what do volunteers do? We fill in gaps. We fill in funding gaps. We fill in worker gaps. We help Vinny with lots of programs. So in those pictures of Fall Forest Festival or pictures of Camp Wild, volunteers are there as well. And we just fill in staffing gaps. They don't have infinite staffing within the park to do all the things they would like to do. They don't have infinite money to do all the things they would like to do. There's also a number of restrictions about what they're allowed to pay for by themselves. So the Friends group can raise money and buy the things that the park could not. For example, Vinny has programs almost every Saturday, and she runs programs during the week, but she doesn't have an infinite budget for supplies. So part of the Friends group buys supplies for her every quarter to feed those programs. So we buy skins and pencils and paper and programs and games and things like that, things that she just doesn't have the budget for. The Fall Forest Festival, while we're not going to have that this year, is a very expensive event, and it's not fully funded by the state. So a third of it is funded by the park, a third of it is funded centrally by the state, and the last third was going to come from their Friends group. And it's a pretty sizable number. So back to your question, if people want to help, they can help with events that serve the community, these educational events, these festival events, these race events, that you could help your local community. You could provide hike leadership. So we have a couple of gentlemen in our group that lead the hikes with Vinny every month, and if she's not available, they lead them by themselves. So if you have a passion to teach, or a passion to hike, or a passion to work on nature events, you can do that through the Friends group. If you want to if you're an avid fundraiser, and you say, I'm going to go tap the local community, and remember, there's 1 million people, and gosh, think about all the businesses that are in our proximity. We're going to ask those businesses to help us out, because having nature in your backyard is proven scientifically to be a huge benefit to people.
Yes.
Right? So you think about, I've had a stressful week. It's been awful. I'm just going to go for a walk. I'm going to listen to the birds. I'm going to see the bunnies. I'm going to watch the deer. I'm going to take pictures of the pileated woodpecker, or whatever it is. I can go do that. So I'm running back and forth between the benefits of the park and what you can do as part of our Friends group. Right. But the Friends group provides gap filling both financially and staffing wise, that the park can't do themselves. Okay. So if you're interested, there's a couple of ways to do that. We have a Facebook page, Friends of Stephen F. Austin State Park.
Right.
We have a website, Friends of Stephen F. Austin State Park. Both of those have a vehicle to make contact with us to become a member of our group or to make just a charitable donation. As I started at the first part of the podcast, we are a nonprofit, 501c3. We are completely and totally volunteers. No one on our board nor any of our members make any money from this activity, nor salary.
Okay.
So your donation goes 100% to the park. And we would advocate to do that. We've recently completed a project that we started almost a year ago to add educational signage along our signature nature trail.
Okay.
And if you go into parks, national parks or state parks around the state, you'll see a variety of signage. But as I'm working on the trails or I'm walking on the trails, somebody will say, tell me about this tree. Tell me about this plant. Tell me about this animal. Well, we're not on those trails all of the time. So we've just put in 20 signs on our signature nature trail. They're available right now, that if you're having a hike with your family or your kids and there's nobody from the park around, you can stop and read these signs and it gives you a snippet about that item. It shows you the tree, the species, the range, where it is in North America that you might find this tree. And it's just educational. They were installed last week. We've had a number of people that came by while we were doing the installation and they said, these are wonderful. What a great addition to the park. Because if you think about the number of people we host 70,000 people through that park during the course of the year. 70,000. And some 50,000 of them are day use visitors that just come in for the day.
Right.
These are not campers. So they're going to take a walk on the park and they get the benefits of walking through the trees and seeing the animals. But there's education available now at the drop of a hat. Vinny, quite often, we host a lot of scout groups. Okay. And they'll come knocking on the door on a Friday evening or Saturday morning and say, can you run a program for me? And she might have,
I am overbooked right now.
Yeah, she might have a program, but now we can hand them a worksheet. We have a junior ranger program, or you could have we haven't launched this program yet. You could be a Stephen F. Austin junior naturalist. Here, go for a walk.
Now, you don't have to be a junior naturalist.
So technically for the Junior Ranger Journals, it's meant for 6 through 12-year-olds. However, I don't age discriminate.
Okay, so I could do it?
I've had a wide variety of folks who complete the Junior Ranger Journal, and I will still get you your badge.
Yay!
So if you're into it, we will encourage.
But they're simple. They're straightforward. They're narrated by our signature bird, the Pileated Woodpecker, so it's a little bit of a cartoon on each of the panels. But you can, in the course of, it's only a 0.6 of a mile trail. So in the course of walking that trail, which takes you 20 minutes if you're not stopping, but let's just say in the course of an hour, you can learn 20 things about our park.
Now they are video?
No, they're just 16 by 12-inch signs.
Like plaques.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I wanted to make sure I was good there. That is amazing, and I would think that would be wonderful for homeschool kids and things like that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I mean, bring them out there.
And we have quite a few homeschool groups that come to the park.
Yeah.
We've got one in particular that's local, and they partner with Barefoot University.
I was just going to say Barefoot.
Every single Thursday. And unfortunately, their school year has ended, but we're going to welcome them back for the next school year, of course. And so this has been kind of a labor of love between the park and the Friends group to create the signs and the content and the images that are on there. So we're really, really proud of outcome, actually, the final product.
Okay, I was going to say, if, we talked about the different things that people could do. If you have somebody who is artistically inclined, who would be willing to, offer their services, that would be welcome.
Absolutely. So we had a person who was the daughter of one of our volunteers, did all of our graphic design.
Okay.
And she has a company that she works for that creates these signs. And she sent all of the artwork to this company. It's Perfect Image Signs in Houston, Texas. And they printed these signs and made a donation to the park.
Wow.
It was a significant value to the park. They did it as a labor of love. They also have a passion for nature and a passion for state parks. So that was a big deal for us. So you didn't ask this question, what do we need? It's not all about money.
Right.
It's all about people power as well. Our board has been in place for a long time, and it's time for some turnover. Personally, I'm completing my 3rd term. So we need board members, we need volunteers, we need some leadership. So it's time for a new person to replace me as the president. We have a transition going on for our treasurer. We are seeking a secretary, which is not a significant amount of time. It's about 4 to 5 hours a month. And they document our meeting minutes and they keep our official records. And then we need board members that help us. As we talked before we started the podcast, they add to our team and they bring skills to our team. So there's a gentleman in town in Sealy that is a graphic designer that looks like he will probably join our board. He's going to bring a skill to us that we don't have. We have a gentleman that runs our our social media, Facebook page and our website. He could use some support. We have some people that have been on this board 11, 12 years, and they're going to move on to other things. Right. So we need board members, and we need some additional leadership. And the fact that we're supporting Sealy, Pattison, Brenham, Belleville, we're within stone's throw, I'll call it, but a 15 to 20 minute drive. It's not a hard commute, and we could use more help. And the more people that come in with a diversity of skills, the better we're going to be.
So you're actually calling all of Austin County. You're not calling any one city.
That's correct. We're calling Austin County. We're calling Northwest Fort Bend County. We're calling West Harris County, Southwest Waller County. You think about where we sit in proximity to those 1 million people. Right. And we provide things to all of them. We would love to have their leadership, and we would love to have their connections to the local business community. Right? Because, quite frankly, fundraising only in our local area is competing with all of those people in that local area for the same dollars. Right? But the territory, think about in a 50-mile radius, there's almost 2 million people in a 50-mile radius. You can be in our park in less than an hour. Right. Right? And you can contribute to the nature side of it. You can contribute to the local community from an education standpoint. Whatever your passion is as a volunteer, even if you haven't volunteered ever and you say, well, I have an interest, how could I do that without this huge time commitment? We would love to have you in Friends of Stephen F. Austin State Park.
I was going to say, because really you could do it if you're a retired teacher like I am. You could help with the education. If you just like animals, I mean, that right there, coming out and picking up trash and, helping clear trails and stuff to keep those animals healthy. I mean, so you pretty much whatever you do, whatever you like, you guys have a need or a place for it.
I think a perfect fit, and it happened to me personally. When I retired and I was doing all the planning and talking to my counselors and financial advisors, they said, the money part is straightforward. What are you going to do with yourself? Right. And so I had this grand plan, and in about 2 years, it fizzled. Right. So, but financial planners would be a great avenue for us as they're counseling their people toward retirement. And they ask that question, what are you going to do with yourself? And you could say, what do you have a passion for? If anyone says teaching, hiking, nature, giving back to the community, state parks is a wonderful vehicle to do that. It's very flexible. Time is up to you. You get to choose when to participate. You get to choose what you want to do. Some parks have an annual hour commitment. We do not. We just want your help, and we want your passion to do the things that we're passionate about as well.
So something, just come on down and say, here I am.
Come on down. What can I do?
Okay. So for the Friends group, when we're talking about inviting Austin County or our surrounding 25 miles?
Within 25 miles from a million.
5 miles. Okay. For folks to come out and support the Friends group and, come out to be a voting board member or, potentially something even further if they're interested. There's a meeting next Thursday on May 29th.
That's correct.
You can just come into the park. It's 5:30 p.m. It'll be held at the Nature Center. It is open to the public, so y'all can just come check out what the Friends group is doing, see how the meetings are currently run. And then on the 31st, we're actually going to do the park's 85th birthday picnic.
Hey.
So we're really excited. With that one, just get your day pass, and we're going to have 10 a.m. archery. There's going to be a free lunch, hot dog lunch. So if you want to come out to bring your kids and have some hot dogs and play some yard games, we're going to have that going on. as well as a sack race. And the Friends group will be there supporting us as they do usually. And then 1 p.m. we'll have a second bout of archery as well. I will preface with the archery, you have to be able to hold the bow on your own and pull back a minimum of 10 pounds. That's just a safety thing, but it's one of the many activities that we provide at the park. And that's another good opportunity for people to come visit us, see what the park's about, see what the Friends group is doing to represent, and to just join, donate, or visit. It's really what we're looking for.
That's correct.
That sounds amazing. So again, I say it all the time. At the end of this, we'll have all your information linked so that they can, so all of Austin County can look at it. Greg, you want to put up they're having a little bit of issue with the website right now, but it's Friends of SFA SP.org.
Correct.
And I clicked on it and it gave me a little bit of an error. So we'll just put that out there. So
if I could add on the website, at the top, if you want to ask a question,
okay,
the email address is info@friendsofsfasp.org.
Okay.
And you can put a question on there.
Okay.
And it lands in my inbox.
Gotcha.
Right?
All right.
So how do I volunteer? How do I access a program? How do I get to the park? If you don't have Google Maps. But if you wonder, what do we do and how could you participate, try that link.
Okay.
And I will answer you.
We'll start to do that. And then again, y'all have a Facebook page.
Yes, we do.
Shows all the different amazing things here, the different posts. I was looking through them and I was amazed. Of course, I just love looking at the events, and they have all of your May programs, and then I know the June ones are coming out.
If you'll go back a slide, one more, hold on to the Facebook page. That third slide, right there.
Oh, right here.
No,
gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Oh,
that's on our Facebook page. There's Pilly.
Okay.
It talks about who we are and what we do, and at the top is the email info@friendsofsfa State Park.
Okay.
And that QR code takes you to our webpage if you'd like more information.
All right, wonderful.
And then for more park events, we actually have our own website as well through Texas Parks and Wildlife. Right here, as you see, you can get maps of the park, learn more about the nature, history. Our events page is also the first thing to be updated before even the Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
The park has its Stephen F. Austin State Park TPWD.
Okay.
There's a couple of pages out there that aren't official state park pages, right. So make sure you get the Texas Parks and Wildlife one. And then our Instagram is just Stephen F. Austin State Park. So that's where you'll also get park updates along with the main website.
Okay.
Events, anything that's going on, our volunteer group. So I'll have some new posts since we had Royal ISD come out and they helped us with a recent service project. So I'll be posting that. So that's another way people can volunteer.
I was saying, everything that comes through, I post it. I love it. I just posted the thing about please don't run over the baby deer and don't touch them and don't harass them and don't, whatever, because people amaze me sometimes. They think, oh, look, it's a cute little deer. And it's like, no,
let me touch it. Or it's by itself. Let me pick it up. Please leave the deer alone. Mom is nearby somewhere. Take a quick picture and then let that baby deer do its thing because Mom will come back and take care of it.
And that's what people don't understand. It sounds terrible. I say city folks because I was a city folk. You think, oh, no, look, it's like a little stray kitty. No, it's not. Leave it alone. It's a wild animal.
Yeah, I do but why friend shaped if not friend?
Yeah. All right. Well, is there any parting words you want to say? Because I think we've pretty much covered it. I want to tell everybody that we will absolutely have all your information there. Tell them okay, Vinny, for you, what's one reason they should come to the park?
I mean, there's nothing like getting out into nature. Granted, come see me because I'm a little partial to that. And come on our guided hikes and programs. Over summer, we're going to continue to do our first Saturday hikes and have a historical talk, second Saturdays with Steve. So the first and second Saturday of the month will for sure have programs. And just come and enjoy the nature. Sit down under a tree if you feel like it, and just listen. Get that vitamin nature in you.
Yes.
It really does bring a lot of peace of mind for a lot of folks.
All right. And why should I become a friend of the park? Put you on the spot. You could just say all the things I already said.
Well, when you retire, you get a chance to give back, and you get to make a difference in things that you might not have been able to do while you were working. So it's not necessarily you have to be a retiree to be a friends group person. But if you've said, I've often wanted to do that, and I want something to do that is flexible, easy, with the people with common objectives. I get to pick the time I want to contribute. I get to pick the way in which I want to contribute. That's what friends groups and volunteers at state parks offer you. And I would say, come join us, help us out. We try to make a difference for the state park.
Amazing. Great ending. I love it. All right. Well, I'm so glad y'all came, and I hope you'll come back another time and let us know how's it going with Friends Group and what nifty things are going on, because, well, we love the state parks. All right. Well, I think that's it for this episode of Hello Austin County. And guys, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our YouTube page. The support you give us helps us grow and contribute to celebrating, the heart of our community. And it's always one story at a time. And until next time, keep smiling.